I have already, with a glass of wine in her hand, Ray Morris coming on today, internationally renowned makeup artist. We love Ray Morris because she's just like says it how it is, and she's just so incredible at teaching an old dog new tricks. Because basically, I always learn something from her, and we did a really great contouring masterclass last time, and today we're going to talk about blusher and lip and cheek, and it really is in honor of the launch of Sharon, but it is about how you do blusher. And I always tell you my trick of doing blusher, but you know, Ray's going to give you the best makeup artist that I know in terms of education, and she does masterclasses too, which you should follow, but we have got her on here today. So without further ado, with a glass of wine in her hand, please let's welcome Ray Morris.
Yeah, see, there you go.
And it's finished. And
it's finished.
Yeah, I would join you, but I just had some cauliflower porridge.
And it's breakfast time there, like it's dinner time here. So, and I had my dinner really early because I knew we were having this tonight.
Darling, how are you? It's been a while.
I'm good. I've got a little office space in Bondi Beach now, so I'm working on my tan. I'm going to be off-white by the end of summer.
You can't do that. You've been like the only person I know who's really consistently said, I'm never going to go in the sun.
I know. I bought a wetsuit. I went down today and I thought, I just can't do this. Everyone's wearing like dental floss as bikinis, and I'm like turning up and I'm like, you know what? The sun's just not for me. I just can't do it. I'll just sit back and from a distance.
There is another reason not to get everything out, Ray, I tell you, but you've got a body that's got a self. So I just think that's just like, you can't even begin to suggest, hey, my cellulite is falling out my bikini. Can I ask you something candidly now? Yeah. Really candidly, before we even start this one, and we're going to talk today about Lip2Cheek. But how often do you wear blusher yourself?
It's something, actually, funny enough, I do wear it all the time. It's one of the things that I wear more than anything, but I do it so subtly, because if I don't, people keep asking me if I'm okay. I think I've even with you a couple of times. You've said to me, "Are you feeling all right?" And then I put it into blush off, and because I'm so pale, it's probably the one mascara, and probably that is the one thing I would probably do more than anything, but very subtly.
Okay, so today is going to be a lesson. Can I just say, I'm looking orange compared to you, and I'm really not looking orange. I just don't know why the hell. I don't know if it's a contrast between how pale you are, but I have no makeup on, and in the screen I'm orange, but I just want to warn I won't tell everyone I'm not orange, but I haven't put any makeup on yet, and I did do some micro needling yesterday. So, darling, I'm going to just start off with some base. Have you got any base on?
I do. I did cheat a little bit.
You did. You
already have a little bit, but I haven't done under my eyes.
Okay, I'm going to put on some BFF first, and whilst you're faffing with under your eyes, a lot of people say, what's the order of products if you happen to have more than one? So I always do BFF SPF 30 because, you know, today is freezing. But it's like, there was such a windy storm last night. I was woken up 10 times, Ray, but it's cold still. And it's, you know, today it's cloudy, but UVA, UVB, those rays damage your skin, girls. It doesn't matter if the sun is shining. So I believe in that. Then I'm going to put over de-stress. Are you wearing de-stress today or not?
De-stress.
What color do you wear in de-stress?
I wear the Jemima, but I go really sheer. Yeah, because I am. And the other thing too, I am looking paler because it's night here. I do have quite strong like blue light, so I am probably looking a little bit anemically pale than what I would normally. But I like to look like I've just got good skin. I don't like to look like I've got makeup on, especially when I'm working with people really close. Because people are looking at me like that, so I just want to look like I've got good skin. That's just why I love that product so much. Because you know what else I put it here because I like because I do wear V-necks, but I'm really conscious of my skin here. But I want skincare coverage. But if I lay like 17 moisturizers on, it all comes off. But the de-stress is more like a skincare. I love it on the body. It's beautiful on the hands. When we shoot beauty, it's really beautiful.
You know, I'm going to put some on the hands up because the thing is the ingredients are so solid. And I think there's so much in there that you're just going to also help when it's off. We did some consumer trials and clinical trials on it, Ray, but there were a lot of women who said just using this as a serum for for the skincare benefit, and they weren't using any other serum, they noticed a difference in the texture of their skin after a few weeks, which I adore, because that's what we want. We want skincare disguised as makeup. Helping
but I
women.
don't want oily oil. That's why I like it, because it's like
oil.
I don't like, because then makeup just, so serums are it's beautiful. Anyway, there you go.
Non, Delphine, parler en petit français, mais pas beaucoup. Aujourd'hui, c'est en anglais. Mais aujourd'hui, nous parlons dans la rouge. Nous parlons dans la rouge. We're speaking on the rouge. Le technique pour faire la rouge dans le visage. That's what we're doing today. Hello, Belgium, Australia. Dream team back together. Okay, now, darling, when you're looking at blush, because we're going to use Sharon here. Have you got Sharon?
Yes,
okay.
I do.
So Sharon is a warm peachy terracotta. It's our new Lip2Cheek. It launched on Monday. There was so much buzz on Monday, though, with everything, that we just thought we'd just like spend today talking about Lip2Cheek a bit more. But when you take blusher, how do you feel a woman can work it out? Because there's so many different, I have my own technique too, if I tell people, but what's your technique for women so they can understand their face shape and where they put it?
Yeah, this is the thing for me. The bigger you put blush on, the fuller your face can look. So I think there's a decision of, do I want to make my face look slimmer or fuller? There's always been this thing about really big rosy cheeks makes you look young, yes, but size really counts. And also I think cheeks are like what I call, they tell me how well or how young or old someone is, because when we're young, our cheeks are nice and high. As we get older, they become lower. And I think, say you're wanting to do a look where you want to have everything lifted and more youthful, but then you put on really big cheeks, you can drag your face down. So your eyes are actually, when I'm talking to someone, I look at where their cheeks are, and the higher they are, the more lifted everything is. So a really simple way, just a really basic way to think about it. Imagine a line, corner of your lip, top of your ear. If you can keep your blush above that, you are 99% there, because that's where your cheeks are when you're more youthful.
You always do your line.
And go above that. Now, then I get asked, do you put it the front, the side, blah, blah, blah. I always like to have a slight curve. Yes, I like to see blush from the front, but I like to start. So imagine like a C. I kind of start, instead of putting it here first, I like to go cheekbone and blend up and down. So you get a beautiful cheek to nothing, cheek to nothing. Because, and go even a little bit higher than you think. I know it sounds crazy, but when you go higher.
I remember how high you put it on me first time. And I remember thinking, oh my God, but I remember my eyes popped, because I think that's another thing, Ray.
Totally.
How much my eyes pop when I have blusher in the right place. So it's literally, you're going up to where the eye socket is nearly.
Yeah, and then what I would, you could even, once you've got
it, you can with us, darling, and show us.
Even go, I'm going to put it on my cheek so you can see. Here's a really good thing to remember. When you see little kids who've got these crazy plump cheeks and they get a bit sun-kissed, the sun hits them here, not so much there. So that's why I find it's important. Like I go really high. I go higher than you think. I go quite high. If you look at a lot of the way even the Japanese, especially even the Koreans do, they blush it so high. So going too high is never really a problem. Going too low is, and then you can either use your fingers or a clean brush is a really good idea as well. And just blending it in so you can't see where it starts and finish. Little circles are okay, but if you someone who likes that circular blush, just make the circles smaller than what you think, because if you do big cheeks, it actually adds weight to your face. So your cheeks are so beautiful and you've got that natural contour. So where you put your blush is perfect. You go above and you curve it up into the temple.
Can you put a bit more on, Ray, so we can see it? Because your lights
sure.
I can't see so well what you're doing,
Let me go. I'm going to go. It's hard with glasses, isn't it? You can't really see. And also look at where you smile as well. So I think it's also important to look in the mirror and see where you smile, because, I forgot to tell you this bit. Ladies, don't smile when you put blush on if you're not a teenager. And I'll tell you why. I always say to models or anyone who makeup, think cranky thoughts. You want your face quite still, because when you smile, two things happen. You get little lines. And a technique we use to age people for like movies or theatre, or if we want to make them look older, we get them to smile, put blush on, because when the face relaxes, you actually create little indents. So don't smile, number one. And two, if you do smile like I do, and I'm not a teenager, my cheeks when I smile are high, but guess what? If I relax, my cheeks are a lot lower. And if you put a lot of blush on, smiling and relax, and your blush is too low, where we get hollow when we age is right here. So if you darken this part of your face, you will age your face. That's why always above.
Good one,
always
Ray.
above.
So would you say in that instance, then, it's good to take something lighter? I'm just going to go off blusher for a second here and go through, let's say I went, I just want to try this because I haven't, that's a very good point. Because here, if I made this lighter, is that a good thing to do?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm playing.
As long as you do it subtly. Can I tell you what I love about this color, though? You know how you call it like it's lip to cheek? I'm going to rename it lip to cheek to eyes. This is one of the most beautiful, beautiful eye colors. Like for your eyes being blue, this is, you know what? I'm obsessed with mattes. This is heaven. Especially got blue eyes. So what you're doing is when you look, my cheeks are brought up high. Instead of having them here, then I get this circular motion, you know. So you want to have it, because you think away the sun hits the face when you get color. You know what's also really nice? You can put a hint on the nose, and you can dust a little bit of this color. It's got a slight bronziness to it as well, which I really love.
Yeah. Like when you talk about that contour in the brow, you know, here, of just gently fuzzing it. You do that.
See how it suits my skin tone too? Like I'm really pale. I'm so good that we're doing this with you because it gives me more of a sun-kissed look as opposed to a bronze look, because I'm pale. I don't want to look bronze. I just want to look like some form of I'm not dead. So that's why I really love it. So just remember,
so we can see, Ray, because we can't see a huge amount yet. You still look very well out. So I just so that the audience can see. It might be
So if I smile. So I'm going in the middle of, so technically a lot of people, their cheeks are here, and I always think of a curve. So I don't start where I want the intense color. I pull back, so I'm a little bit more on my cheekbone, and then I do like a C shape. And you know what? You can go right up into the eyebrow too if you want, but do not smile around here and keep it nice and high. Now, how far you want to bring it around, again, that does depend on your face. If you want to make your face look slimmer front on, don't bring your blush around as much. Like it's all about the curves. So it's all about putting, so if you want to make your face look wider, yes, bring your cheek more on.
Wider. So tell me.
Yeah. So you need to keep your blush more in the front because you want to give more here and more, because you want to create your cheeks to look wider this way. Is that correct?
Yeah, I just feel my head is quite long, Ray. My face is quite long. I mean, I do have cheeks, you know. I feel I have my cheeks can overtake my eyes, so I'm always aware that if I turn my eyes more, my cheeks look smaller. So
you need to go. You need to put your blush this way, not so much this way. Does that make sense? So you want to go wider. You go close. You can go quite close to the nose. It's really surprising because see how I do a curve. When I do a curve, what that means is when I turn front on, a third is in the front, a third is here, and a third is on the side. But for you, you want to create more width. So you just want to move that C a little bit more here so your blush just gives you that width.
Okay. Because I normally, when I put blusher on, I always put it on just very haphazard, but I always do my fingers.
Yeah.
And I always just start a little bit further out and I tap and I feel that bit, which is most of my cheekbone sticking out, and then I come back in.
Yeah, you need to bring it, but I would bring it even a little bit more front on. Yeah, that's it. That's it. And just don't bring it too low because you've already got an amazing, really big cheek. It's incredible. You don't need to make them bigger.
No, I don't.
You've got to keep it up and wide.
It's more for my eyes, for bringing that life into the eyes.
And the other thing I want to tell everyone watching it, it's so essential to have cream blush. Powder blushes, they come with a few more issues where what's so amazing about cream, it blends in with all skincare, with all liquid foundations. It becomes like skin. And here's another great tip. Sometimes what I will do, let's say you're doing a liquid foundation, Some people like to use powder, and they put a powdered blush on top. And what I find that can make the blush look like makeup. What's so beautiful about creams, it makes it look like real skin. So if you just want your cheeks to look like they're really that color, that's why creams, I don't have powders in my kit. I never use them. I just find creams, they heat and they look like skin. So just well done on, and this color is going on every eye.
Well, let's take it. Let's continue the journey then, shall we? And you want to do lip tricks and eye tricks. If you were using this as a base, because I use it on I love it on the eye, darling. But let's just then go further afield. It was going to all be about blusher, but we've done blusher. Anyone else have any blusher questions? Please leave them and we'll answer them, because this is about blusher and Lip2Cheek.
Can I add one more tip in there?
They are saying, can you repeat it? To look smaller, put it more in front. Is that what you're saying? So
there's two things. There's kind of two things that you can think about. If you have a face that's full and you want your face to look smaller, make your blush application smaller. So don't big cheeks, big blush applications mean a big fuller face. So for someone slimmer like me, I do make my cheek area bigger because I need my face to look bigger because I'm quite like that. If you have a fuller face, keep the blush smaller. Then, however, and always above that line. So that's the size. Now, the other two things you've got to think about, do I put my blush on a C or more in the front? The C works on everybody. But if you want to make your face wider this way, a really good trick, everything I've said, just move the blush even closer into your nose to keep more distance. And all these things you cannot go wrong with. If your blush is too small, over too big, always will work. If it's above that line, will always work. C-shape will. The only thing, and which I love about this, don't overload, don't use shimmery blushes when you have fine lines, because this enhances it. And that's what's so nice about these blushes. They're not loaded with glitter. So thank you.
When we do our sheer shimmer, I always put it more here anyway, and less. So even if I'm doing, like, I love to use sheer shimmer over Sharon, but if I was using, let's say I'm using mica, which is quite nice with Sharon, because they're kind of really pretty together. I would use that mica all the way up, like I would make it hit a highlight. I would just use it here. Just to get that tiny bit of, like, you've had an amazing facial this morning, so you get, when you move, you know, that feeling. So that's
look, shimmer here is beautiful. And what I mean, it's not, yours looks more like healthy, shiny, glowy skin. It's that really heavy metallic shimmer. And also you can have shiny blush. It's just if you're concerned about deep lines. So, like, I love shimmery blush, but when I smile, I just wouldn't put anything really shimmery here, but I would definitely put it through the skin. So thank you. That actually is what I was trying to say.
That's great, Don. You're giving so many good tips. Everyone's just saying brilliant tips. So someone's saying, what's a great Lip2Cheek for best for hazel eyes? On Trinny London, we do a match to me. So we mix your lip, cheek and eye shade. But if you've got hazel eyes, there is a chance you've got olive in your skin and you might have a sort of browner in her hair. And Sharon is a lovely shade for that. And I think when we're talking about moving Sharon and putting it up in the eye, you know, I think brown eyes are harder to pop, but these kind of colors are beautiful on a brown eye to make that eye pop. So I would actually, you know, begin. Should we do Sharon up top and say how you use it as a base too, even though this is just a Lip2Cheek, everyone? I like the easy tricks from Ray.
Well, I just love this because, like, a cream, I can't, you know, without glasses, I can't see what I'm doing. But the good thing, because that hint, it's kind of, it's like a rosy bronze. But what I love doing it as a wash on the eye, but it's actually really nice when you look straight ahead. If you've got, like, maybe a bit of a heavy bone, is on a brush. And I actually do a trick. Instead of looking straight to the mirror, I drop my chin like a millimeter, because that's how we talk a lot to people. And that's where you can get heavier. So try not to do your makeup. I know we all love doing it like this because everything looks more pulled back and more youthful. But you need to sort of start doing a little bit like that, because that's sort of our crankier face. But also things hang more.
That's such a good trick. I've never heard that.
Because we all love.
Oh, you know, we do mascara and we do this, but that, it's like how people see you. Okay.
And if you do your makeup like this, trust me, even though you might hate it sometimes, you actually will look more lifted when you put your head back. Because if you do that, you do all these eye colors, and then you go like that, and you've got heavy eyelids, you look straight ahead, you can't see any of it. It's all.
So what are you saying we should do is put the makeup more above the line?
Yeah, because this is a matte color, it's kind of got that. You know how that I love that Serena, that contouring eye color. I love like pushing this back. This works like a warm contouring color. It's really amazing on deeper skin tones as an eye contour color as well. So you can do a sort of wash over the lid, but just with those heavy brow bones, it's really nice. I'm going to tilt my chin down because I get this, you know, we all get this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so many women on here, we're going, oh, we got this, we got this. So where exactly are you putting it? Can you go up close? I want to see what you're doing.
I can't even see myself. Isn't terrible wearing glasses, I tell you. Trust me.
Sharon's the cousin of truth. Yes, I'm going to show you truth, which is an eye-to-eye shade, which you, I think, love too, darling. But truth is sort of slightly browner. So there's truth.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's Sharon. Let me go in that way. There's Sharon and there's truth.
Yeah.
They're our cousins.
Sharon's really good for that bronzy face. If you love lots of bronzy caramel, I always, you know, that cake, that pretty tan Latino skin. This would so I'm just putting a wash on my eyelids, but all I'm doing with it is tilting my head down and just putting it on those heavy, like saggy eyelids that I have. And what it will do, it'll just
how high up are you putting it? What's the trick here, Ray, of how high up we put it?
Oh, I love this. A really good trick is, it's a really simple thing. When you look in the mirror, work out what do you want to push back? Which bit of your eye do you want? And it's always these heavy eyelids. We want to, the worst way of explaining it is, you know, the heaviness that we get, we want to cut it in half. If we only had half of that full, we'd be happier. I know I would be. So what we want to do is we want to shade half of it with a matte color. A matte color that's like a neutral, warm skin tone.
Which half pushes it back. Looking at my eye, have I put it in the right place here? Because I feel I got it in the middle. Should I be pushing it back here?
Just a little bit, just on that bone. You know where that socket bone is, where the eyelid starts to hang. You just want to have a wash of it on that skin. This is the bit, like, you know, if you've got to lift something to put a color in, I always say this, if you've got to lift to put a color in, when you let it go, you're not going to see it. So it's that overhang. So when you look straight ahead in a mirror, the skin that hangs down, that's the part you want to shade back, because you want to push it back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This is such a nice bronzer color.
And the great thing about, I love it. This is a Lip2Cheek, but you're saying it's such a nice bronzer color. I love it. Well, we are multi-purpose, and I like that.
I know, right?
Yeah. I'm just
getting those. Let me have a look. That's so nice. Oh my God. Heaven, look. Now, you've done exactly what I've said. Instead of you just going up to the bone and letting the skin being pale, you've actually blended it up into that skin that we all hate. And by doing that, you've halved the puffiness.
Yeah, and then I wouldn't go further than that. So where do I stop, Ray? That's the thing. I can be let loose and not know where to stop. So what I want to know, because this is now going on to eyes, ladies, because I think we all have trouble with bloody eyes. But what I find tricky, Ray, is I never know, like with the shape of my eyes, which is doing that, and not wide set, where do I have the definition? So should I have less definition here, and then it's more here, and then it's, you know, going there?
It's always on the outer corner. Here's a really good way to imagine where that definition socket should be. And the way I look at it, to keep your eyes to look the most open, look straight in the mirror and make sure, you know how we have eyelash, and when we're younger, we have a lid, a nice, beautiful full lid. Then we have a bone, then we have right. And then what happens, this happens, and then all we get is eyelash and eyebrow. You want to create the illusion of eyelash, a lid, and then your brow bone. So if you don't have it, you've just got to make sure that socket, there's space between the eyelash and the, you're building a fake socket. So you're actually lifting it up. That's really good.
But should I then, Ray, put the same amount of colour on my eyelid, or should I leave that lighter?
No, I reckon lighter, because you want to carve, you want to create a fake socket line.
I want to leave it lighter. Okay.
Yeah.
Leave it lighter.
Just go heavier on your socket line.
Yeah, so I even make that lighter here.
Yeah. So to make that clear, you want to go you always want the socket to be a little bit darker to create it that your cut. It's like
that, because I've done that here. I've put some BFFI just here, just to lighten it again.
Even go more, go stronger on that socket.
But let me go on some proper bloody eye products, because Ray, we're using everything all around. So I'm going to go on some Virtue and because I want to understand this. So if I do that,
keep it light. Exactly. You want to create eyelid space.
Like that.
Then you want it beautiful. Oh my God. Look, okay, don't move. Everyone watching this at home, you can see Trinny's lashes. You can see her lid, there's space, and then her socket is carved. 10 out of 10, you nailed it. Do you understand? Because you put your socket, everyone's socket, where they put it, don't worry about where you have it. Just remember, when you look straight ahead, you should have space on your eyelid, and then if you want to play at home, get a pencil, look straight ahead, and just draw where it should be. Learn where that is. Who cares where it is naturally? Then when you get your makeup, you'll know exactly, and it won't be where you think it is. It'll be higher than what you think it is. That's
Ray,
amazing.
you are an effing genius, because
you are.
Age 57, I always sometimes when you and I have done a smoky eye and I've made the lid smoky and everything, but that's doing something else with the eye.
Look at the difference.
This to me is that everyday way. It's the illusion, and the fact that, sometimes I think some people think to themselves, oh, that was I shouldn't do this look with an eye because it was a trend. And I think the truth of what you're saying, which I love, Ray, is follow what's happening with your eye and your eyelid and your eye socket and flatter it. And what you're doing is you're bringing back, I love saying a bit more on here, but you're bringing back my idea that I have an eyelid.
Look, you can't see the eyelid on the other side, but you can, because it's, remember, lash, lid, socket, space, space, space.
Genius.
10 out of 10. I'm so excited. That was a cheat.
Love it. Okay, this is so good. So good. Any questions also for Ray? But can I just now, we're moving on now, Ray, because I always love it. If I want to do, so let's say that was my everyday eye, all right? And that's about just the reproportionation and bringing, turning time back in a way, but giving that illusion, because I haven't put any mascara on yet too. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit of mascara on so we can see the look. But if I was doing a smoky eye and I have this overhang, I know we've done a smoky eye series, but how would I do it differently?
Okay, same theory, just stronger in color. I would go on the lid, still keep the lid light, because smoky doesn't matter. People think, a lot of people, when I speak to young makeup artists, they think smoky's heavy and black. No.
And I want to understand that. I think that sometimes that is the case.
No, if you just made that socket dark, and even if you left the lid shiny and light, but you darken that socket,
I'm going to go to your
little bit in the outer lash line, you're done. But one thing that you're there, because everyone's watching at home, the blush. Let's go back to blush for 1 second on that eye. I want you to do one thing for me.
Oh, yes.
I want you to bring that blusher higher. Because do you know how your cheeks come? They come like this, then down. That's what they do. They're round. Yeah. You've got all the blush here. I want you to move it slightly onto this plane of your face.
Like higher here.
Just higher than what you think. I know it feels
I always have this discussion. I remember in a hotel room with you can I just say the way I met Ray, for those of you who don't know.
I love this story.
Susanna and I get off a plane. We've been the 24:58-hour flight to Sydney. And we are waiting for our hair and makeup team, Sarah Ladlow and Ray. And we didn't know how amazingly lucky we were at the time to have Ray. So she spends hours. We bond straight away. Susanna is bonding with Sarah. I'm like, Ray and I are best friends in 3 seconds, because we just get everything. We're obsessed with skin. We're obsessed with everything. We're just telling each other all our tricks. And then we go out on a speedboat in Sydney Harbour, and we go to have these kind of welcome to, Makeover Mission Australia, and do these shots. And we look amazing. After a 24-hour flight, I look like I'm 12. And the guy was really thought he was so sexy and hot and cool. And he spun it too quickly. And a huge wave hit Susanna and I literally. So there we go, back to the hotel room, another 2 on hair and makeup, back out again. It was, that was a very bonding moment. So, okay, I remember then you were doing this, and I was so controlling then, not that I've changed. And I would be like, don't put my blusher there. And you was like,
yeah, because it's interesting. Because one thing, and I want everyone who's watching to see through my eyes, and so you can see what I'm seeing. When you go straight on, Trinny, in the other eye, because there's a distance between your eye and it's in your eye and the blush, you're actually lowering your cheek. So you want to keep cheeks always closer to your eye than to the mouth.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You want to go always this way.
Now,
you never want to go that way.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm going to even take a picture. I know this sounds really, but I want to see exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, if anyone's there, I mean, I can see it through my camera lens. So I want everyone watching to become my eyes and to see what I'm seeing.
Okay. Can we go on, because this is a Lip2Cheek? Can we go on about creating? I want you to tell me how to create an ageless lip, because my thought on this is, as we go down the path of life, and some people on here are probably going to be 25, but I'm just saying personally, I'm going to first of all take Miracle Blur and just, you know, cover up my lip lines. But I want you to tell me the best shape to create.
Yeah.
You've shared before that full lip and only stopping. And I want us to just talk about how you create an ageless lip. Yeah. That's what I want to know.
Ageless lip. Really good question. If you're ever in doubt.
With Sharon, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the good thing, really good thing to remember when we make a lip, you're very blessed, Trinny. You have naturally full lips. You've always had them. Yeah. You're very lucky. But big lips aren't always the most youthful lips. I mean, I think sometimes if you're getting fillers, it can make your face look quite masculine. It's really important too with lips to always have, for anyone out there that wants to go down the cosmetic thing, having the natural lines, and that's why your lips are so beautiful, Trinny. Keeping that natural featheriness to your lip makes them beautiful. But here's what is not flattering with lips is when they go down here. Okay, no one wants that.
When they go down where? When they go down where, right?
Like that.
Yeah, that sort of going to marionette mouth.
Yeah, yeah. Now you can have that shape. You can be 12 and have that shape. It's just the shape we have.
And you can have that shape through stress in your life and not smiling much, and it will just emphasize it. But that's why I kind of try and sit on the loo and practice smiling to lift my cheekbone and lift that line.
Yeah. I sit there like this. I actually put my hands there when I'm stressed because I know that'll naturally make me look happier. So a really simple thing to make the lip look more youthful. It's the distance between our nose and our lip. This actually gets longer as we age. So you can see, just as I do that, how much older I look just from doing that. This distance is all, say, like if I go like that, I look younger, can't really see. So I always say to people, to make your lips look younger. Yeah.
Really? I don't know.
All right.
Really?
Maybe not for you. Maybe not for you. But,
all right. But the principle, what you're saying is that the length here will actually maybe take you down the path of life.
So enhancing this part, lifting this part of your lip, making this part of your lip look bigger is always a good thing. So you can always lengthen the lip this way, but don't lengthen it this way. If in doubt, move it in
that way. Why not?
I'll show you
that way.
Okay. Because what happens is the bottom lip is, to have a youthful smiley lip, the bottom shape needs to be lifted here. Yeah. So if you look at, as we get older, or if you look at a more masculine or a man's shaped mouth, they're normally a lot straighter. So what makes us looks older is when our mouths start to turn down. Yeah. So the key is to always have the bottom lip shape going up on the sides. Really important. Okay. So what I always say is have a look at like I'll do it with myself. When I look into a mirror and I close my mouth, I naturally have these lines that are there when my lips are closed. So I have my lip to about there, and then from there I get lines.
And also my line is going down now. Look.
Yeah.
How do I?
So you're pretty lucky though. I mean, for your lip shape, you're pretty good. So I always say, look in the mirror and get your little fingers and go, where does my lip look the most youthful? And I promise you, it's never end to end. If you move it in like a squillometer, look. If you take those corners off, your lip looks more youthful. If you look at babies or little children, their lips are like
right in the middle.
Yeah, they look cute because cute there. So it's
I think a lot of people are doing this now in a mirror as we're talking.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
If you look there and I'm looking at that, and I'll take that away.
Yeah, and look, I remember with lipstick, you know, I see women, I used to do it myself, but taking lips all the way to the corners. And then what happens is, and the thing with bright lips, I say this, it's really important. If you're wearing a bright shirt or a lip, they're things you can see from a distance.
Yeah.
So the shape is so important. So if your lip's doing that and then you make it bright red, you now look 10 years older from across the street. So shape is really important. So to make a youthful lip, it's really simple. Move your lip in a little bit and pretend that's where your lips begin and end.
Together then. Let's do it together.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going
to use my finger because I like a blurred lip.
Okay.
I really do. And you can easily go, you can actually go above this lip line here a little bit as well. What's really beautiful about this color, it creates, you want to create a bit of a shadow behind there, if that makes sense. So you can use liner or this color because it's got a bit of that brown in it. And if you're ever in doubt whether to point or round, if you had to choose one, if you go too pointy, again,
never gray. I just think straight across is like so much more ageless.
Totally. Really, and it goes back to that distance thing, because when you V a lip, there's actually a big, you know, a big thing with lips to pull it there. You know, something a dentist told me, I never forget this, because I used to whiten my top teeth when I was younger. I whiten, and he said, do your bottom. And I said, why? He said, because when you're older and when you smile, look at your mum or your grandma. When you smile and you're young, you see your top teeth. When you smile, you're going to see your bottom teeth. So you take care of your bottom teeth.
That's a very good point. I did. I mean, mine are people always ask about mine. And when I had mine done, they're all veneers because I have really bad teeth and I had them done.
Me too.
Oh. And also I had them made much broader. So it made my lip stand out a bit because that my mouth is not this wide. So
I love, can I tell you though, it's the one thing I had, because I had problems with my teeth too. And I wish I went wider teeth.
I don't know. I would say older. I wish I hadn't gone this wide, is what I was going to say, Ray, because I feel like really dating friends. Hi. You know,
I love it.
Friends. Because I think the whites of your eyes, if they get yellower compared to the white of your teeth. Anyway, yeah, sorry. The shade we're using is Sharon Lip2Cheek. Tips for narrow lips. They are full, but not much wider than the nose. That's another thing. That's the opposite of what we're doing.
Okay. Well, again, what I would do is you don't do sharp. You know, when you see, what I find can be a little bit, it troubles me a little bit. When you see so many amazing lip images, they're these full colored, the sharpest line known to man. When you put a really sharp line on a mouth, you enhance the shape. So if you're narrow, that's why finger and blurring it is your best friend, because you soften everything. And I always say, if you're in doubt, put product on and blur the edges. A blurred lip edge is so feminine and so beautiful. So if you're smaller this way, that's actually a nice problem to have, by the way. You can ease, I mean, that, you know, I have to see your lip, but if you're quite, I mean, that's the shape I wish I had. So I wouldn't be changing anything at all. I think that's really little. I love the way when I'm in Japan, the women I work with there, they have the most, if you watch what they do, a lot of the Japanese, they actually put foundation and make their lips so small because it looks so youthful. So it's a problem I wish I had.
Yeah. Well, I would say I love the idea of, you know, really using your finger, because that's what we're all about, and just blending and that soft line. I think hard lines can look overdone, and they can look
a lot of maintenance.
Do you know
how hard it is as an artist when I'm doing those sharp lines? Oh my goodness. I actually, if I have to do like someone doing like red carpet or a bride or something, if they're fidgety, I actually put white gloves on them, white cotton gloves. And you know why? Because I've got evidence that they're touching their mouth, because they do this and they talk and they drink and so I do.
You've got evidence. Ray, I love that. But I think this is a perfect way to wear Sharon too, because it is that one that for many lip tones is going to be a very natural look, and for deeper tones
too. Can I tell you why it works on us too? Sorry to interrupt you. Why, like, look at us. I'm a cool toned. If I looked at a color that had brown in it, normally I'd go no way. But why this works, and the best way to test lip color, and I know that you know this one, Trinny, is I always say don't look at the color on the back of my hand, right? Now that looks beautiful terracotta, but our lips have a blue-red undertone. So when I ever test lipstick, I always say one wipe on your fingertip. See how it automatically has a rosiness to it? So that's why it works on
I
so
never
many
heard
skin
that before.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
so good.
Don't ever test
Don't
lipsticks
test
there.
on that. Test like that.
Because your lip has a rose blue-red undertone.
Yeah, and there's such a difference color between that. Sorry, let me just do that.
Yeah.
And that.
Yeah.
And
see? Look at me. Look at the difference of me. Have a look at that on me. Look at that terracotta. And I would go, oh, that's too brown for me. Look, no, because it's on you always test lipstick on your finger. Did I even told you that one?
No, you never told me that one. Every time you tell me something else. Now my birthday is just about to go on my laptop. Thank God I saw that.
And one last thing. I have a saying, too much on the mouth goes south. So if you're getting lipsticks and putting 17 layers on your mouth, lipstick, your body temperature is 37 degrees. A lot of it melts. With lipstick, you just want to do the sheerest. Don't put 17 layers on. That's what makes things run. That's why these are so pigmented. You don't need to. Less on the mouth doesn't run. That's why they last longer.
Okay, that's good. How does it compare to VB? I'm going to show you VB, ladies. VB is more apricot-y than I don't know if I'll show well on this light, but you see VB here, and then you see there's terracotta-ness too. Yeah.
Look at on my skin. Yeah. See, I love that too.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's got more depth to it, more punch to it.
You know what color I think though? Not only with that Sharon, I just say this to anyone that has a lip that's alive, always buy a color that matches your richest, darkest part of your natural lip. Okay. So we all have this rosiness. So for me, I'm here.
Because we all also have color on our lip, darling, too, I think. You know,
see, that we have because when you have it's always that go-to lip color, you know, when we get the deepest rose, we all have our own natural lip color, and it always has a hint of rose or burgundy in there. Find one that matches, have that as one color, and then you can go from there, choose any other color on top of it. So my Freddie is me. That is my actual natural lip color, but I just want to look more even and healthy. So that's always, if someone just doesn't want to look like they've got any color on their mouth, just look at your lip and find the deepest part. And the great thing is our natural lip has this mahogany blue red rose undertone, and interesting, mahogany, this is going to sound a bit crazy, but mahogany is both cool and warm in the color wheel. That's why it suits everyone. That's why no one ever walks around with lip colors that natural lip colors that don't suit them. But that's why Sharon is so beautiful, because it's warm, but we've both got the same color on.
We can both wear it. Yeah, we can
both
wear it.
Genius. Look at your eyes. Look at your eye. I'm so impressed. And see how your blush now is like, you haven't separated. It's like, here's my eye and here's my cheek. It's become this like healthy. I
know. And it's that sort of symbiotic. That's the thing I always got from you, Ray, of just, you know, taking a bit of blusher, putting it on your eye, then having it there, and then, you know, just having that sort of, like you talk about the C, but for me, it's that whole face having a relationship. And when I look at women who have a very cool eye and a warm lip, and there's a disjointedness to that makeup look, you know, that's why, you know, we do Match to Me. So you get palette of shades which are all going to go well together, whatever makeup you choose to do. Yeah. And I think that's key.
Genius.
What was Ray's go-to lip color? Ray uses a shade called Freddie. Which you've got there, and I've got here.
Sometimes I will lose you. I do go to Lady J sometimes, but Freddie's my color because I got quite a rosier lip.
You have, and sometimes I think if you have a very pale pink toned face, you can have a deeply rosy lip. I mean, I have a lot of women who are, you know, peaches and cream light, maybe is more of a nudie lip, but pale pink tones will have that deep rosebud to their shade. And then when you go deeper tones, if you go to light brown or to ebony, it's interesting because I always match in between on ebony. So because might be very brown here and then really pink in the middle. And to me, when you've got that change, that sort of natural ombre in the lip, it's about evening it out. Something like Freddie will even it out really well. But I think also I think that Sharon, I've tried on some lip shades where, you know, on some lips where there's a real pinkiness to a brownness, and it evens it out beautifully as well, whilst giving a pop of color. Yeah.
You know where Sharon will also really work amazing with pale skin like me? If you notice, like I'm quite cool tone, so I wear blue, silver. But if you're pale like me, more like in the Nicole Kidman family, but you prefer gold, Sharon's perfect because it'll just warm everything up. So that's also, so with pale skin, you can go cool and warm. So Sharon would be perfect for that as well.
John is saying, Ray, can you wear the Freddie? I bought it and have pale skin like you, but don't think it suits me. It's all about a tiny bit of application. And Annette, what's the best to make thin lips look fuller? If you've just joined us, I'm with Ray Morris and we're discussing Lip2Cheek launch in Sharon. It's launched this week. It's a beautiful new shade. It's a warm, peachy terracotta. And we're putting it on lips, cheeks, and eyes and forehead. And God knows there's nowhere we're not putting
elbows, hands,
everything. Nicole works beautifully with Sharon. I'm just going to show that because here's Nicole, which is our sheer shimmer. And together they are really beautiful. So if you're going to do, you know, if you want to have a shimmer and put that on top, you can put that on top on your lip, cheek, or eye, just to bring that in there. So it's very pretty together. There's always this old wives' tale. So can we banter abound before we end here? A couple of old wives' tales. So one is about, will it make your teeth look yellow? You know, there's this thing of women maybe were taught by their grandmother, you know, like red lipstick makes teeth look yellow, whatever it is. But first of all, let's start with Sharon. I can't see anyone who would feel they would have yellower teeth with Sharon.
No, they're talking about those really orangey brown lipsticks, and that is not that. And it's not like, you can't make teeth look more yellow than what they are, but if you do use those really orangey brown colors and your teeth are quite yellow, yes. But Sharon's, if you see it on me, it's not brown. It depends on your underlip color. See, and when you're more pinky undertone like I am, it's going to look more rosy on me. See, you're warmer undertone, so you don't have as much pink on your skin. But the thing is, the sheerness of it, you're not blocking your lip, you're not blocking and putting another layer on. But look, there is something in about, you know, if you're wearing that orangey brown lipsticks, they can make the teeth look not as white, but I'm talking, they have to be quite orangey brown colors.
Yeah, I think they have to be that sort of old-fashioned number 7 orangey
lip. That definitely.
My mother used to wear that lip, and my mother had fake teeth, so it was irrelevant. Burgundy lip color, we've got Munchkin, which is our closest to burgundy, and I love that as a shade. And it's something that, you know, it's like an aubergine, but you can put it on also. Funnily enough, I'm just going to show you now. We've done all Sharon, but if I was to do Munchkin, I love Munchkin for that real, like very little. So that's very little in the middle.
My favorite trick. And I do this when I do Kelly Rowland. It's a trick I use. She's got very, very full lips, and sometimes she doesn't want them to look fuller. She just wants them all the attention to be in the middle. So if you've got quite large lips, what a problem to have. I love this color. What I'm doing, only in the center, like you've just eaten a mulberry.
Okay, let me do it now. Because I have quite full lips. I want to do that. So I'm going to start off with. Let me just clean myself up a bit on the outside with a bit of.
It's that I just ate a mulberry, and I want that look. If you have a look at a lot of the Korean, a lot of my Korean clients actually, they always say, "Ray, blur it, make my lips look smaller and more like babe, like young, youthful." It's my favorite trick. But look, it's like you've just eaten a mulberry, and it just goes in the middle.
Okay, so I've done this one first.
Yeah, and then look, I've done on me too.
Munch on the side. Okay.
Look, there we go. Watch right there. It's like the ombre lip in reverse. You know, you might have a lip that's really full on the bottom and not as big on top, and you want to lift the bottom lip, just go right in the center. So if you're someone that eats mulberries and goes, oh, geez, I love my lip color when that happens, that's the color. And look, that's it on me, look. And what I like about this, I'm someone that wipes, and I'm really fidgety with my mouth. I touch, and I think, yeah, look, right there. Such a good trick. That will make your teeth look so white too. It's like that. I've just had a Shiraz. Yeah, I've just had some wine. Look, see?
Yeah, you have. You just had a good Shiraz, darling.
Yeah.
You just had a good Shiraz.
So good. Remember subtlety too. We got to remember that makeup, I love it. I when I'm with women and I do something and they go, I can't, you've done something, I'm not sure, but I like it. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, because otherwise the makeup's wearing you. You want to, you want to just see you, see skin, see healthy lips. You don't want to see 17 layers or product. I find a lot of products distracting where, I'd rather have a stain and just looks just looks chic.
Effortless, like you were born like that.
In my $2 t-shirt.
Just have a Shiraz. I mean, I love that. Anyway, Ray, it's been a joy. I mean, we've learned so many tips. And if you've just joined us, do watch the film back. We've learned about how to do the perfect placement of blusher. We've learned about how to give yourself back an eyelid if you've lost it through going down the path of life. We've learned about using Lip2Cheek everywhere. We've learned about how to make your lips bigger, smaller, fuller in the middle, everything apart from wider and older, really. So can we do another one soon, please, darling?
Please, tomorrow. What are we doing? Yeah, please. I love this. This is fun.
I think we might do something to do with spring eyes, at some stage. You could just do something.
Give me some suggestions of what you want to see and let's just do it. Let's do it.
Perfect. Darling, take care. Very nice to see you. And I hope the girl is well. How old is she now?
She's 6.5. We've had 4 sleep-throughs. 4.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. All right, darling. Okay, give it up, Ray. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed it. Good night from Australia. Bye.
Okay. So wasn't that, I mean, did you learn? I learned so much. And, I've done makeup for years, but every single time that I speak to Ray, I've learned something fantastic. And I've got to remember all the tips now. And ladies, you got to remember the tips. And when we do lives again, remind me of these tips. But for me, I love that one because sometimes I feel my lips dominate. So I love that. I love this idea. A lot of you say to me, Trinny, why don't you blend your lip out fully? And that's in a way why I don't. But I think that I've refined today the idea of how I do it, which is to make it so much softer so you don't notice the color isn't here anymore. It's just all the attention is in the middle. We learned today about eyes and opening up the eye and how you actually really just shadow out the brow bone, but leave the front lighter to open up your eye. We learned about blusher today and lifting the blush high and where you put blush according to whether you have cheeks, full cheeks, or no cheeks. So great. And a lot of myths totally debunked. Great. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll catch up again soon. Bye.